Good morning to all. Welcome to the another lecture in the unit 2 of your paper refining process for the crude oil atmospheric distillation. This is the lecture number 3. The outline of the lecture proceed with a review of the previous lecture, the objective, the learning outcome, the atmospheric distillation method, the various steps involved in the method, and after the completion of this method, there is an exercise to practice the questions, references, SELO. We have read in the previous lecture the first and foremost method, the desalting method, or that can be said the dehydration method to remove the salt content from the crude oil, which hinders the process of refining. So that is the step we gone through in the desalting or the dehydration method. And then we have seen in the lecture number 2 the distillation method, the various types of the distillation with the main principle including the steam distillation, the vacuum distillation, the fractional distillation, and the important features of the distillation column and the factors affecting the distillation column operation. The objective of the lecture, as we are going with the refining process of the crude oil and all the petroleum products which are the materials derived from the crude oil by the process oil refineries, and the majority of the petroleum products which comes from the refining included the various fuels, various products including the lubricants, fuels, plastics. So all are the material products, and the students will able to know about the atmospheric distillation, which is the first process of the refining method. The learning outcome of this lecture, the students will be able to understand about all the important steps carried out in the atmospheric distillation method of the crude oil. The atmospheric distillation is the first step of the refining process after desalting or the dehydration method. It is the separation of the crude oil into the various fractions, or we can say the straight run cuts, by the distillation in the atmospheric and the vacuum tower. So the two important type of the distillation used here in the refining, the one is atmospheric, means the distillation process is carried out under atmospheric pressure, and then the vacuum distillation is also done of the crude oil to remove the heavier fractions. By the atmospheric distillation, the lighter fractions or the cuts can be separated from the crude oil, and then the heavier fractions are separated by the vacuum distillation. The purpose of the atmospheric distillation is the primary separation of the various cuts. Here cuts is the meaning the fractions or the cuts of the hydrocarbons, namely specifically the lighter fractions or the lighter cuts we can understand like fuel gases, then we have LPG, naphtha, kerosene, diesel, and the fuel oil. So these are called the distillation cuts or the fractions. So these all are the lighter fractions which can be separated by the atmospheric distillation method. So this is the flow diagram of the atmospheric distillation method. The crude oil is to be first dehydrated, desalted to remove the salt content which hinders the process of refining. So we have learned how the desalter role come up. After the dehydration and desalting method, the crude oil is preheated. So preheated up to 385 to 400 degrees centigrade, because under this heating the lighter fractions or the low boiling fractions usually vaporize, and the atmospheric pressure which is to be maintained, and this crude oil is passed to the distillation column where the number of the perforated trays are there. Almost 30 to 50 trays are there in the distillation column, and we have at the bottom there is the reboiler which is attached to the bottom of the column, and at the upper head of the column we have the condenser to cool the vapors, and then it is collected in the reflux drum for the process of refluxing, because again this liquid is passed through the column. As the crude oil is a complex mixture of the hydrocarbons, the lighter and the heavier. So lighter consist also of the heavier, and heavier consist also of the lighter. So again the refluxing and the reboiler plays an important role for the separation of the lighter fractions from the heavier fractions. And finally all the heavier fractions which are collected at the bottom of the distillation column are sent to the vacuum distillation assembly for the further separation. Understood? So this how the process is carried out, and the pressure should be maintained. Under that pressure the lighter fractions can easily vaporize. With the temperature we have maintained 400, 385 to 400, and at this temperature the lighter goes on vaporizing, and vaporizes vapors are condenses to collect the liquid, and again it goes on refluxing for the separation of more heavier fractions, because those heavier fractions which cannot separated settle at the bottom, which can be sent through the bottom to the vacuum distillation assembly. So this kind of the method is carried out, and we have the separation of the lighter separation, we have the gases, then it is to be separated gasoline. Understood? Then we have naphtha. These all are the lighter fractions which are separating here. Then we have the oil, gas, fuel oil. So the lighter fractions can be separated from the atmospheric distillation. So you all know temperature and pressure plays an important role in the method. So we have to maintain the temperature and the pressure to carry out the separation. Understood? Uh, so this distillation column can be divided into three types, where you have the middle portion which is to be where the feed is to be done. Feed is because here the crude oil is feeding to the middle portion of the distillation column, and this middle portion of the distillation column is called flash zone. Yes, what it is known as flash zone. The middle portion where we are feeding the crude oil, that is called the flash zone. Okay, the middle portion is known as the flash zone of the distillation column. The lower portion of the distillation column, that is known as stripping section. Stripping, understood here. The reboiler rolls is there to pass again some lighter fractions which can be vaporized, so that is called stripping section. Okay, the lower part of the distillation column is stripping section, middle part is flash zone, and the upper part is called rectification section. What it is called? Rectification. Okay, so go through it. Rectification. So this can be divided, the column of whole distillation assembly can be divided into three sections. What are that three sections? Rectification. Okay, okay, understood. So middle where the feed is given, that is flash zone. The bottom part is stripping section and rectification section. So how many trays are there in the distillation column? Almost 30 to 50 trays are there that can be separated the lighter fractions. So as I have said, this is you have understood in the diagram. There are trays, 30 to 50 trays in the distillation column. The reboiler to provide the necessary vaporization for the distillation process. A condenser to cool and condense the vapor leaving the top of the column. The reflux drum is the upper side of the distillation column to hold the condensed vapor from the top of the column so that reflux can be recycled back to the column. So refluxing is again for the good separation is necessary. So these all are the parts we have seen in the distillation flow diagram. The main fractions or the cuts obtained having the specific boiling point range, according to that it vaporizes and can be classified in order of decreasing volatility. So which easily vaporize first, that is gas, then we have the light distillates, middle distillates, then gas oils, and then finally the lesser volatility is of residue or the heavier fractions, and the distillation unit is close to the atmospheric pressure with the higher pressure at the bottom stage, which gradually drops down till the top stage of the column. The pressure should be maintained accordingly, and the purpose of the atmospheric distillation is the primary separation of the lighter fractions. So lighter fractions or the lighter hydrocarbons, they are the fuel gases, LPG, naphtha, kerosene, diesel, and the fuel oil. The desalted crude feedstock is preheated using the recovered process heat and then flows to a direct fired crude charge heater and then into the vertical distillation column just above the bottom and at the pressure slightly above the atmospheric and at the temperature ranging from 340 to 370 degrees centigrade, and above these temperature the hydrocarbon thermal cracking may occur or decomposition can take place. So we have to maintain the temperature and the pressure accordingly. As the hot vapor rises in the tower, its temperature is reduced. Heavy oil or asphalt residue is taken from the bottom at successively the higher points. We have the lighter fractions like lubricating oil, heating oil, kerosene, gasoline, and uncondensed gases are collected from the top of the column. Maximum reflux and the fractionation can be obtained by removing all the heat at the top of the tower. If we want to have the higher amount of the product, that can be obtained by removing all the heat, but this results in an inverted cone type liquid loading which requires very large diameter to collect it at the top of the tower. The reflux is provided by, we can have the condensing the tower overhead vapors and returning a portion of the liquid to the top of the tower. The pump around and pump back streams lower in the tower. So each of the side stream products can be removed from the tower. It decreases the amount of reflux below the point of the draw off. If we go for removing the lighter fractions, then we have the lesser amount of the oil for the refluxing. So the refluxing can be provided by the condenser and putting that liquid to the tower and removing the side stream products. To reduce the top diameter as the maximum reflux and the fractionating resulting into the increase in the top diameter of the tower and even the liquid loading over the length of the tower, intermediate heat removal streams are used to generate the reflux below the side stream removal points. So to avoid the liquid loading and to reduce the top diameter of the tower, there is the system intermediate heat removal streams which can also use to generate the refluxing. And to accomplish the liquid is removed from the tower, cooled by a heat exchanger and returned to a tower. Alternatively, a portion of the cooled side stream may be returned to the tower, and this cold stream condenses more of the vapors coming up the lower and thereby increases the reflux below the point. So the refluxing tendency and the diameter, top diameter of the tower can be reduced by this intermediate heat removal streams, which can also be used to generate the reflux. So they generally incorporated below the flash zone, as flash zone is the middle zone and the steam is introduced below the bottom tray to the strip any remaining gas oil from the liquid in the flat zone and to produce a high flash point bottom. The atmospheric fractionator normally contain 30 to 50 fractionating trays, as I have discussed in the diagram, in the flow diagram, that is consist of 30 to 50 fractionation trays. So this all to be introduced below the flat zone and can be further removed. The separation of the complex mixtures in the crude oil is relatively easy and generally 5 to 8 trays are needed for each side stream products plus the same number above and below the feed plate. Thus, a crude oil atmospheric fractionation tower with the 4 liquid side stream draws off will require the 30 trays. Understood? So as we have seen the lighter fractions, and each one of the section require 5 to 8 trays to have the separation. So almost we have 30 to 50 trays in a normal atmospheric fractionating column or a tower. The overhead condenser on the atmospheric tower, it condensed out the pentane and the heavier fractions of the vapor that passes out of the top of the tower, and the light gasoline portion of the overhead containing some propane and butanes are essentially all the higher boiling point components in the tower overhead vapor, and some of this condensate is returned to the top of the tower as a reflux, and remainder is sent to the stabilization section of the refinery gas plant, where the butanes and propanes are separated from the C5 180 degree Fahrenheit. Then we have the LSR gasoline. So at the it is what type of the fractions, as we have pentanes, butanes, propanes, which are having the higher boiling points, they go for refluxing firstly, and then it is to be collected. The liquid side stream withdrawn from the tower will contain the low boiling point components which lower the flash point, and these light ends are stripped from each side stream in a separate small stripping tower containing 4 to 10 trays, with the steam introduced under the bottom tray, and the steam and the stripped light ends are vented back into the vapor zone of the atmospheric fractionator above the corresponding side draw tray, and are often called bottoms. So this whole we have the bottom portion of the distillation column, that is the stripping section, and when the lighter fractions which are separating they each one of the side stream in a stripping tower, they are also having a separate 4 to 10 trays. So they go for again separation of the lighter components to the above of the column, and rest is finally called the bottom, which cannot be separated, and finally they are sent to the vacuum distillation assembly. So each side stream is having a specific process of carried out the separation of the lighter fractions to the heavier fractions. So this is how the atmospheric distillation to collect the lighter fractions as the gases, gasoline, LPG, naphtha, kerosene, diesel. So all are to be separated by the atmospheric distillation. Here we have to see how the temperature and the pressure to be maintained to have such separation, and the refluxing and the role of the reboiler is very much essential here to maintain all the temperature and the pressure, and how we can have the maximum output or the product which can be separated by this method. So this is the atmospheric distillation method. So now you go through the exercise, the atmospheric distillation. The references of this topic and the SELO. So student effective learning outcome, as it is the main application of the concept of the topic that is fulfilled here by the atmospheric distillation method we understand, about the refining process for the crude oil, and you have your thinking of the distillation tower having the flow diagram and all. So this how the major operation of the process occurs. Thank you and take care.